Yep. Today, we are going to dive into limitless living, and I'm going to share with you three surefire ways that you can bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Yeah. So, welcome to Well Healed Wednesdays. I'm so happy that you are here with me today, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I want to invite you to create some amazing karma. Yeah, you can do it right here, right now, simply by sprinkling this training onto your timeline. Sprinkle it liberally, right? Because there are other people in your life, in your Facebook tribe, that absolutely are feeling stuck, perhaps just like you. And so when you sprinkle it and you press that button to sprinkle it, you then not only liberate yourself, but you liberate others by doing so. So sprinkle on. And talking about sprinkling, if you would like to know how you can create this limitless life, I have a strategy that is just for you. I will be happy to share it with you. All you got to do is simply enter slay in the comments below, and I will get that to you in Messenger immediately. And speaking of me, let me introduce myself. I'm Heidi Day. I am your soul healer, trauma conqueror, and life makeover strategist for badass women who simply want to smile and mean it. And I know that's you. I know that's you. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that the universe has brought you here to this very moment. So powerful, so very powerful. And that's why we get to really jump. We're not going to dump. That's why we really get to jump into today's topic of limitless living. Limitless living. There was there was a movie about this pill that you could take that would make you limitless. I forget the name of it. But it was really provocative, thinking about what we can create if everything is possible. What if we played with the idea that 100% of the things are possible 100% of the time? Kind of interesting, right? Well, today we're going to look at these three different pieces of things that you can do, three different secrets, things that you can do to really bridge that gap from where you are to where you ultimately want to be. Okay, so I'm super excited about it. This is something that many of us who are seemingly successful, it's a trap. Y'all, it's a trap that we get caught in, and we're going to show you how to get out of the trap today. Number one, the first thing that you get to do is be willing to give up the good for the great. Oh, wow. Life is good. I get it. I get it that your life is very good. In fact, your life probably is way better than you ever thought it would be at a certain point in time, right? You look at around, you look at where you live, you look at how you live, you look at where you travel, you look at, the amount of followers you have, you look at all of these things and you're like, wow, mind blowing of how good life is. And as we are in finishing up, this is the last day of Women's History Month. We're finishing up. Um, we're looking at focusing on healing her story. And as we are doing this, right, it's a good time to think about, as good as life is right now, is it authentic? Is it authentic? Or have you just kind of worked your way and ended up here? And we're going to talk about this a little bit more in detail. We're going to dive into this, but chances are you didn't consciously create the life that you have, not in entirety. You created certain pieces of it, and then you looked up and it was getting better in many ways, but there are other pieces that have been neglected. There are other aspects that you haven't given your attention to. So you've been so busy building your business. You've been so busy building your brand. You've been so busy, climbing the corporate ladder. And that has landed you in an admirable position. People look at you and they're like, dang, chick got it going on. And you do. That's your curb appeal. However, there are certainly the spaces that are within you that are empty, that feel stuck, that feel unfulfilled. And it's like, how did I get here? How do I have all of this, yet I feel all of that, right? The first thing that we have to do if we want to really break through that into this limitless living is we have to be willing to give up the good for the great. And I want to expound on that just a little bit more. The good is about keeping up with the Joneses. The good is about being able to seem like things are okay. The good is I don't need to reach out and be supported or get help or do any more work because then people will know that my shit ain't together. Sis, it's not, and it's okay. It's not, and it is okay. We are all under construction. We are a work in progress, right? So if you are willing to admit, that's a part of this, is that we admit to ourselves that there is a problem. When we can admit to it, then we can deal with it. And if we're not willing to admit to it, there's no chance that we're going to be able to have the breakthrough. There's no chance of that. So you have to be willing to give up the good, and it is good. Yes, you did it. I'm proud of you. Way to go. Awesome. Amazing. It's good. But are you willing to give up the good for the great? Are you willing to sacrifice what you have for what could be? That's question number one. So, really, today is a lot about deeply questioning where you are and what you're willing to do to get to the next place. Because limitless doesn't come without a cost. That's number one. Number two, girl, this right here. Stop anesthetizing your pain with success. We use success as anesthesia. You and I, we do that. When we want to feel better about ourselves, we go and we do more. We increase our followers, we increase our coins, we buy a new bag, we go on a better vacation, we do things that are either fruits of our success or growing our success in order to feel better. Because when those feelings of inadequacy, when those feelings of imposter syndrome start creeping up, when those feelings of sadness, tiredness, lostness, when they start appearing, what we do is we tend to do more. And so it's essentially this crazy cycle that we find ourselves in of doing more just to feel like enough over and over again. We're using our success as anesthesia. It doesn't work. Well, that's not true. It does work for a minute. We feel better when we get the new certification, we do the new training, we whatever your thing is that you do to make yourself feel better. It does feel better for a minute, but it's not sustainable. So therefore, after that wears off, after the feel good wears off, then we find ourselves going back in for yet another win. We have to keep on stacking wins. We have all of these trophies that we are stacking around just because that's how we get to the place of feeling like we're enough. No. Here is what I want you to understand. Success won't heal the pain, but healing will absolutely make you more successful. Sis, did you catch what I said? Success won't heal the pain, but healing will make you more successful. And so when we can get out of this trap, this trauma trap of doing more and more just to feel like we're okay, then we can step into a space of limitless living. Then we can really become something new and different. That's how the journey works. It doesn't happen in reverse. It happens by saying, "Yep, I am willing to stop the madness." We're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We're better than that. You are absolutely better than that. I know you are. So whatever it is that you're collecting, whether it's coins or purses or certifications or followers, whatever it is that you're collecting, stop. Just stop the madness. Stop that and let's get up underneath it. Let's look underneath the hood. Don't just put a paint job on it. That's the lipstick on the pig. Let's get under the hood and find out really what's going on. That's number two. Whew. The last one, number three, is juicy. Kirk Franklin has a song and he says, "Do you want to be happy?" Do you want to be happy? Now, that is an interesting question because it seems like a no-brainer. Of course, I want to be happy. Yes, yes, I want to be happy. That's easy. But do you? Do you really? Many of us, we just want to flirt with happiness. We want to flirt with our healing. We don't want to be committed to it. We don't want to dive in. We just want to flirt with it. We want to play with it a little bit. And I'm saying to you here and now, flirting with your happiness is not going to lead you to happily ever after. It simply will not. Flirting with your happiness will not, cannot lead you to your happily ever after. Your happiness is just going to be a side piece. It's going to come and go. It's not going to be committed to you. You're not going to be committed to it. When you get committed to your happiness, to your joy, to that deep fulfillingness that is inside of you, that's when things change. That's when you get to have the limitless life. There is a phenomenal story that is in the Bible. It's one of my favorites, and it's not surprising because it's dealing with healing, right? There's a man by the pool of Bethesda, and he's laying there and he's crippled, and he needs someone to put him into the waters when the waters begin to move, because that is when they believe that the healing happens. Jesus comes along and he's asking Jesus to put him into the water so that he can perhaps have a chance at healing. And again, Jesus, like Kirk Franklin, asks the question, do you want to be happy? Do you want to be healed? Do you want to be healed? Now, it would beg to reason that if a man was at the pool, the healing pool, that he, of course, wanted to be healed. Of course, that's why he was there. But yet, Jesus, in his insight, in his wisdom, said, let me just stop. Let's back this up a minute. Let me just ask you the question, is this are you committed? Are you committed to the happiness? Are you committed to the healing? Are you willing to walk whole? And then afterwards, he heals him and he says, now take up your bed and walk. You're no longer limping. You're no longer like asking. You're no longer begging. You're no longer hoping. You are committed and walking in your healing. Y'all, that's a whole thing all in and of itself. Do you want to be healed? Are you committed to it? Are you willing to make your healing a lifestyle? It's just like working out, right? We don't work out one time. Y'all know I'm a Peloton girl. I don't get on the bike one time and get off and be like, okay, what we got? Am I fit and fine, healthy, well now? No, it's a lifestyle. I get to walk in it every single day. I get to choose it every single day. Choose my healing, choose my wellness, choose my happiness, choose my joy every day. If we are going to step into the space of limitless living, then we get to really be clear on, am I choosing this for myself in this moment, in this day, in this week, in this month? Lots of crazy things that are going on in our life, and we get to choose it anyway. We get to choose us. We get to be unraveled a bit in order to knit ourselves back together in a way that is of our choice. Because when we look at these other two pieces, right, when we look at our first thing of giving up the good for the great and stop anesthetizing our pain with success, all of these things, there are choices. There are micro choices that we get to make all along the way to be able to expand into this limitless life so that we can bridge the gap from where we are to where we want to be. Because the reason that you're frustrated, the reason that you are that you feel disrupted, the reason that you don't feel completely fulfilled is because you are willing to stay stuck at the good. If you're willing to stay stuck at the good, we can't get to the great. And there is a gap. And that gap creates those feelings of frustration. It creates feelings of overwhelm. It creates feelings of inadequacy. Everything that we have that is uncomfortable is in the gap of where we are to where we get to go. And I am telling you, sis, you get to go. You absolutely get to go to the next place if you're willing to. If you are willing to. If you are willing to choose healing, choose happy, intentionally, not by chance. That's the power of choice. That's it right there. Limitless living in 3 steps. Number one, this is our speedy recap. These are the action items that you get to do to bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be right here, right now. Number one, be willing to give up the good for the great. I get that where you are now is fantastic. It is beautiful. It has so many great signs of success. But chances are you didn't consciously create the reality that you're living in, not in its entirety. You created pieces of it, and then you wonder why the other pieces perhaps are not working. You created the professional life that you wanted, but the personal life is suffering. I get it. So you consciously created by being willing to give up the good, meaning I'm going to stop faking the funk and I'm going to admit that my shit isn't all the way together and I'm going to do my work to create what I want. That's number one. Number two, we got to stop using success as our anesthesia for our pain. Stop that. Stop that. We get to step into this place where we can have wins, but our wins are not there to help us not hurt anymore. Our wins are there to truly be manifestations of the work that we're doing, right? Because success won't heal the pain, but healing will absolutely give you greater success. That's number two. And number three, do you want to be happy? Choosing happiness. Stop flirting with your healing and commit to it. Don't make healing your side piece. Make healing your boo, your bae, right? Get committed to the work. Choose to be healed. Choose to be healed. Sis, I have support for you. Just simply put slay into the comments. As an emotional intelligence trauma strategist, I am here for you. I have a strategy for you that can absolutely help you very specifically bridge the gap from where you are now to where you want to be. Type slay in and I will be happy to get that to you. I'll send it over in Messenger. I'm Heidi Day, and I'm here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's my honor to be your soul healer, your trauma conqueror, and your life makeover strategist, because I know that you want to smile and mean it. And together we can do it. We absolutely can. So, whatever your day holds, I hope and I pray that you will choose to be well healed.